Hello everyone, this is Studmuffin giving you a 1v1 commentary on a game I played today on Blood Gulch vs Unnamed Gamer. This is actually a second account. I'm not going to say the main because I don't know if they want this account to remain secret, so go ahead and try and figure it out if you really want to, I suppose. But anyway, I'm just going to send my ghost to the back of my base to try and get some crates. I'm also going to go temple first. Blood Gulch is the map you always want to go temple first on so you can get that supply elevator. And what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at his gamer score. If I know his gamer score is low, I know it's a second account, so that's how I figured out I knew that this was actually going to be a good game, because it's not the high ranked accounts you want to look out for, it's the lower ranked ones, because they're probably high level players except on another account. Now that my profit's finally out, I'm just going to go straight over to my supply elevator, and I'm setting my rally point right next to my supply pad, and the reason I do that is because the elite honor guard, I don't want him to just teleport through while I'm facing the rebels, just in case he dies from that sniper squad, because sometimes they glitch and they'll attack the rebels without you actually wanting them to. Now the matchup is actually Prophet versus Brute, and this is actually a pretty fair matchup, because even though I'm Prophet and I have a pretty big advantage versus Covenant, and if you're wondering why, it's actually because the elite honor guards, they're really hard to get rid of as the other Covenant early game, and so rushing with them against the Covenant, almost always a good idea. And that's why I continued to build them even after this elite honor guard, and I'm just going to continue to build them. And what I was actually going to go for was a grunt elite honor guard rush. A lot of people don't like grunts, but I love them in Covenant mirrors. They have a lot of building damage, and if you can get away with it, you win the game early. And it's always easy to transition out of, especially on a map that has a supply elevator, so that's what I was going to go for. But the reason I say it's a fair matchup is because the Brute Chieftain has really good hook control on this map. He also has the Brutes that he can put in hooks and also try and rush with. They're just really powerful units. If he were to try and go for like Jackals and Brutes, that's a strong combo that he could try and rush me with. So actually if he went for that combo while I was going for this one, he probably could win right now. But I'm actually ready for that. What I did is I sent my ghost to the teleporters just so I could go ahead and scout, and I saw his crates that I'm going to get with my profit, and I see that he has a turret, so he's actually expecting a rush, and that's actually a good thing. You should probably expect a rush when you're facing a prophet, just because those elite honor guards, like I said, are very powerful against the other Covenant. But I was going to attack the Root Chieftain even before my haul was actually up, because I have 4 elite honor guards and I'm getting blessed right now, and so that's actually just very powerful, and so I just wanted to attack him right now while I still could. I'm actually just barely going to start getting blessed here pretty soon. And I'm also going to try and get that a beam upgrade, because what the beam upgrade will allow me to do is just beam down any jackals he gets out of his hull also, and that's really what I need to try and do, because his hull is going to be up before mine, and he's going to be able to make jackals, he's going to be able to vortex, he's going to be able to do everything he's going to need to try and stop this. But what I'm doing is I'm putting my elite honor guards in front of the prophet so that they can just tank the damage from these turrets. He only has 1 right here, and as soon as I see that he actually has 2, and so that's really annoying. Good thing they're not upgraded though, so I actually did decide to keep going with this attack. First I was going to make some jackals so they could help me with his jackals, but I saw that he actually didn't have that many, and so I'm just going to continue to go with this grunt elite honor guard rush that I was going for originally. But I do know it's not going to be too long until he gets a lot of jackals out of that hall, and he's just going to probably recall his chieftain and start mopping up my weakened forces from all these turrets. They're really helping him out here with all this infantry. They've already killed 2 of my elite honor guards, and that means that turret paid for itself, because it's 250 for 250. It's a pretty good deal. Then I see another turret shooting at my prophet. That means that he actually has 3 turrets, and so he spent a lot on these turrets, but they're actually really helping him and keeping me away from certain parts of his base where all his warehouses are. But what I really want to do is get towards this hall anyway, so it's not that big of a problem. And I'm really starting to build up in this elite honor guard here, and that's really good, because elite honor guards are really powerful against the other Covenant. They take on leaders really well, they're hard to kill, so that's always good. But I'm still kind of worried this could be stopped at any time, because the Brute Chieftain has a large pool of health to draw from, so that's going to be hard to kill. And I see that he actually has that reactor already. That makes me think he's going to be trying to get beam rifle here as soon as this rush ends. He's just going to get his hull up and get beam rifle. And I was going to start attacking his main base, and I saw that he got Citadel, a really good choice, because if you don't know, Citadel gives your base 2 times more health if you're the Covenant. And he's actually taking my money hook with that jackals over there, which means he's going to have both the money hooks, and so he's actually going to be able to recover from this really easily, and so he's just doing a great job of actually doing what he needs to just try and stop this. He's vortexing all my grunts, and those elite honor guards are actually just going to chase down that chieftain. I know he's just trying to bring me towards that turret to fight my elite honor guards alone though, and so what I'm going to do is just draw him back and fighting one on the turret that doesn't have any turrets up. I was gonna get up my own turret because I thought he might try and counterattack me with those jackals or something, but I realized there's no way he'd be able to with this chieftain on my base, and so I got rid of that, and I'm starting to get up a factory, kind of planning for the later game, because I know he's gonna try and get some beam rifle. I see all the jackals he's been making. Luckily, he actually doesn't have that many. I think he went for the shield upgrade first, might be one of the reasons. And I actually see that his brute chieftain's just gonna vortex everything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beam down all his jackals while my units just deal with this brute chieftain. I'm also gonna beam his brute chieftain. I just really want his chieftain to die fast because he's just vortexing everything. It's destroying all my units. And he actually didn't die after he let go of that vortex like I thought he would. And so now all he has is this turret left, but I realize he actually has both money hooks and he's fending this off well, and so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to back off after I kill this turret and try and grab his money hook and see if I can't even out this game a little more. Obviously I'm a little bit ahead of in economy at this point, and because I have the economic advantage, I realize that if I have one of the supply elevators and he has one, I'm going to have a better economy still, and so I'm just going to go ahead and try and take that real quick. But my base isn't exactly looking too hot either. I still got some warehouses I need to upgrade because I was going for that rush there, but I did get Citadel, and so not losing too much building time. But I decided to go for Wraiths and Banshees, one of the most powerful combos you can really go as the Covenant. It's mainly for against UNSC, but I figured it'd work here because they have Jackals, and that's mainly going to be his force, except for a Brute Chieftain. But I figured it's going to be hard for him to Vortex a bunch of Wraiths as the Brute Chieftain, so... And it helped me take this supply elevator. I'm just going to put these grunts in the sniper towers so that they can help me take it out faster, because they also get a damage bonus while they're in these sniper towers. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take his hook here. I realize that he's actually not far behind as I would have thought, though, because he has a reactor hook, and he actually has, still at the moment at least, both the supply elevators, and so that's kind of disappointing. And I'm also beaming his brute out of there, and if you look, I beamed straight on his brute. You never want to just beam straight in the middle or something if you're new to this game, maybe, because what it does is it actually doesn't do any damage. You gotta set it straight on the brute or else it doesn't do any real damage to him. But the problem with the unit combo that I decided to go for was I actually didn't have a lot of momentum, as in a lot of built up money to try and build all these really high resource units, and I didn't even have the first 2 upgrades. So I mean, I still had a lot of extra money that I need to just go ahead and spend to try and get these units. So I mean, I decided I'm going to get boosts on my Banshee, and while I'm getting boosts, I'm just going to buy a second Wraith and just get those Banshees out a little bit later. It's not really that big a deal. I'm also going to go ahead and scout out his base here, though, and see if I can stop any buildings from going up with my Prophet, maybe his Jackals or somewhere else. I also see some crates there. I was going to set a Ghost to go get it, but my Ghost actually sadly died. I see him getting up his Temple, so I'm just going to start beaming that down to really go ahead and stop that. And I see a bunch of Jackals shooting at me along with 2 turrets, and so my Prophet's not doing so hot. I go ahead and try and beam all these Jackals, which actually do have beam rifle, which isn't too big a problem, because that's why I went for Wraiths and Banshees. But if your opponent has beam rifle, it's not really something you want to try and take lightly, because beam rifle, it's really good for hook control. I mean, they destroy infantry and hooks almost instantly, and so that's kind of going to be a problem if he decides to go for that. I was going to go get those crates, but my Prophet needs to get his shields back desperately. And I think what he's going to do is send his Jackals to go take my supply elevator, so I'm just going to send my Wraiths through so I can just kind of stop any Jackals that come up, and I was right. Here comes some Jackals right now. And Wraith and Prophet should be no problem for these Jackals that he's actually sending in pretty much one by one. And so with these Wraiths, he's probably just going to pull back, and I'm just going to go ahead and chase him with these Wraiths. Another one pops up, so that's actually with convenient timing on my part, and I'm finally going to be able to make these Banshees because I have enough money to just start really pumping both these Wraiths and these Banshees. So far, I've been in pretty firm control about what's been going on this game because I can just beam everything, and because of that rush I did. I mean, it did give me map control for a little bit. He wasn't really able to leave his base. But I realized all he really has is some turrets to defend him, and so I'm just going to go ahead and attack now with my Prophet, and here comes my 3rd Wraith to help me make that push happen.
What now? Ready to attack. We serve. What do you want? Ready. Forward. Local units. What needs doing? Tell us where. Going now.
What I'm kind of worried about is that his turrets are upgraded, and lo and behold, they are upgraded. And turrets, if you don't know, absolutely rip through Wraiths really easily if they're upgraded for anti-vehicle. Sending 1 Wraith on 1 turret and my Prophet and 1 Wraith on another one that's trying to build 3 turrets would be a huge problem for my Wraiths, and you don't want to try and take that lightly. still kind of afraid of his beam rifle jackals, because although they won't kill my main units here, they will kill my profit, which is teleporting all those units in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it. But sadly, this is the end of part 1. Please watch part 2.